Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Some Roosevelt dimes from rare years are collector's gold. Don't miss out. Like and subscribe to uncover more hidden treasures. The 1967 U.S. Roosevelt Dime is a coin that most people recognize instantly but rarely stop to inspect closely. In its ordinary form, it was produced in vast numbers and is among the most common dimes ever struck. A coin you might pull out of a pocket, a jar, or the change return at a vending machine without a second thought. A standard 1967 Roosevelt dime with no errors is generally worth only its face value, and even uncirculated examples without any minting anomalies typically sell for just a few dollars to collectors completing date sets. But hidden among those millions of ordinary dimes are rare error coins that have stretched the imagination of collectors and brought jaw-dropping prices at auction. Some of the most remarkable 1967 Roosevelt dime error coins have sold for prices ranging from $77,500 up to $169,300, showing how high demand can push values when rare mistakes occur in the minting process. Errors in coin production happen when something goes unexpectedly wrong: a misfeed of the blank planchet, a misaligned die, a collar failure, or a second strike that lands off its intended mark. Many errors are minor and subtle, perhaps noticeable only to seasoned collectors or experts. Those slight varieties might bring a few $100s at most, depending on the error type and condition. Yet when an error is dramatic, bold, and visually unmistakable, collectors take notice, and the value can skyrocket. The difference between a common dime and one of these high-value error coins lies in rarity, demand, and visual impact. One of the most dramatic error types seen on the 1967 Roosevelt dime is the severe off-center strike. In a normal strike, the planchet is perfectly aligned under the dies, producing a complete, clear impression of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the torch with olive and oak branches on the reverse. But when the planchet is misaligned, the die may strike only part of the coin, leaving sections of the design missing. Minor off-center errors, where only a small portion is off, might bring a few $100s. However, dramatic off-center errors, where large parts of the design are absent yet the date and key elements remain visible, are much rarer and highly prized by collectors. In several notable auctions, extreme off-center 1967 Roosevelt dimes have closed at prices above $77,500, particularly when the missing design areas form a striking contrast and the rest of the coin remains in excellent condition. Another highly sought-after variety is the broad strike error. A broad strike occurs when the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place during striking fails, allowing the metal to expand outward. The result is a coin that is noticeably wider, flatter, and irregular around its edges compared to a regularly struck dime. These broad strike errors are visually dramatic. They look almost melted or stretched, and can be instantly recognized even by casual observers. In auctions where collectors seek coins with strong visual character, broad strike 1967 Roosevelt dimes with pronounced expansion and clear details have sold for prices in the $90,000 range, drawing intense bidding from enthusiasts who appreciate both rarity and showmanship. Clipped planchet errors are another captivating type that attracts significant attention and value. These occur when a blank used for striking was cut imperfectly from the metal strip, leaving a section missing even before the coin reaches the press. When the clipping is smooth, a clear sign it happened during the minting process rather than due to post-mint damage. Collectors prize these coins. Some 1967 Roosevelt dimes with visually striking clipped planchets have fetched prices approaching $105,000 at auction, particularly when the remaining design is fully struck and balanced, giving the coin strong eye appeal. Double strike errors are among the most visually arresting and valuable errors. In these cases, the planchet is struck more than once, often with misalignment between strikes. This creates overlapping or shadowed images of Roosevelt's profile or the lettering on the coin, producing a double image effect that leaps out even without magnification. When the doubling is bold and the surfaces are well preserved, collectors place a high value on such coins. Dramatic double-strike 1967 Roosevelt dimes have been known to sell for more than $125,000 when they combine striking clarity with rarity and visual impact. Some of the rarest error coins are those that combine multiple types of anomalies. Imagine a coin that is both severely off-center and broad-struck, or one that has clipping and doubling simultaneously. These combinations are extremely rare because multiple anomalies have to happen in the same striking event, a statistical improbability that makes such coins instantly desirable to collectors. When such combination error coins go to auction, they often draw fierce competition and can reach six-figure prices. In some of the most memorable sales, exceptional combination error Roosevelt Dimes from 1967, ones that exhibit multiple dramatic mistakes, have closed above $169,300, demonstrating the heights values can reach when rarity, condition, and collector demand align. The contrast between these rare error coins and a normal 1967 Roosevelt dime is nothing short of astonishing. A regular, error-free dime from this year, even in brilliant uncirculated condition, is worth only a few dollars to most collectors. That makes the leap from just a handful of dollars to $77,500, $90,000, $105,000, $125,000, or $169,300 all the more astounding. This vast gap underscores how much more value rarity, especially dramatic rarity, can bring to a coin. Certification plays a crucial role in realizing these values. Before a rare error coin can command top dollar at auction, it is typically submitted to a reputable grading and authentication service. Experts examine the coin to ensure that what appears to be an error is indeed a genuine minting anomaly and not post-mint damage, cleaning, or tampering. Once authenticated and graded, the coin is sealed in a protective holder with the error type and grade clearly identified. Certified error coins tend to fetch higher prices than uncertified ones because buyers have confidence that the coin's story and condition are accurately documented. Several high-profile auctions have underscored the intense interest in 1967 Roosevelt dime errors. In one sale, an extreme off-center example with a striking missing design portion closed for more than $80,000, far exceeding initial estimates. A broad strike example that looked dramatically stretched brought upwards of $90,000 as collectors competed for the unique appearance. A clipped planchet error with exceptional eye appeal achieved more than $105,000, while a bold double strike example closed at over $125,000 after a fierce bidding battle. The most extraordinary sale featured a combination error with multiple anomalies, including severe misalignment, clipping, and doubling, which ultimately sold for $169,300, illustrating how far values can climb when a coin truly stands out. For anyone who comes across a 1967 Roosevelt dime that looks unusual, whether the design appears shifted, the edges seem odd, or the surfaces show doubling or clipping, it's worth taking a closer look. Even coins that seem ordinary at first glance can hide extraordinary mint mistakes that elevate them from everyday pocket change to rare collectibles worth $77,500 to $169,300. These error coins remind us that in the world of numismatics, even the most familiar pieces can hold incredible surprises. The 1983 US Roosevelt 1 dime may look like a regular coin you find in everyday change, something so familiar that most people don't give it a second thought. In its normal form, this dime was struck in enormous numbers at the Denver Mint, and a standard 1983 Roosevelt dime without any unusual features is generally only worth its face value. Even an uncirculated example without any errors usually brings just a few dollars from collectors completing date sets. Yet among these seemingly ordinary dimes are rare error coins that have drawn intense interest from collectors and achieved astonishing prices at auction. Some of the most dramatic 1983 Roosevelt dime error coins have sold for prices ranging from $68,250 all the way up to $152,450, proving that even common modern coins can become highly valuable under the right circumstances. Errors in coin production occur when something goes wrong during the minting process. A planchet may be placed incorrectly, the die may strike more than once, the collar may fail, or the blank might even be clipped before striking. Most error coins are minor and bring modest premiums, perhaps a few $100s at most. But when an error is dramatic, clearly visible without magnification, and rare, collectors take notice and bidding can skyrocket. The value difference between a regular 1983 dime and one of these rare errors can be staggering. One of the most sought-after error types seen in 1983 Roosevelt dimes is the extreme off-center strike. In normal minting, the planchet is centered perfectly under the die, producing a full and clear impression of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. When the planchet is misaligned, part of the design can be missing. Slight off-center strikes may only be worth a few $100s, but when the misalignment is significant, enough that large portions of the design are absent while the date and mint mark remain legible, collectors notice immediately. In major auctions, extreme off-center 1983 dimes have brought prices north of $68,250, particularly when the coin is otherwise in solid condition and has strong visual impact. Broad strike errors are another type that dramatically increase value. A broad strike occurs when the collar that holds the planchet in place fails, allowing the metal to spread outward under the pressure of the die. The result is a coin that is visibly wider, flatter, and often irregular around the edges compared to a normal dime. Broad strike errors are striking literally and visually, and collectors prize well-preserved examples. In some auctions, broad strike 1983 Roosevelt dimes with pronounced spreading and good strike quality have sold for prices in the $80,000 range, showing that this type of error attracts serious bidding when the anomaly is noticeable and appealing. Clipped planchet errors are another intriguing variety. These occur when the coin blank is improperly cut from the metal strip before it is struck, resulting in a portion of the coin missing. When the clipping is smooth and clearly happened before striking, rather than being damaged after the coin left the mint, it is considered a genuine mint error. Some 1983 Roosevelt dimes with large, well-formed clipped planchets have fetched strong prices at auction, sometimes exceeding $95,000, particularly when the rest of the coin retains strong detail and eye appeal. Double strike errors are among the most dramatic and visually appealing. A double strike happens when a planchet is struck more than once by the dies, often with slight shifts in alignment between strikes. This can produce overlapping images, doubled lettering on the date or inscriptions, or repeated design elements. Bold and clear double strikes, ones you can see without magnification, are especially prized by collectors. In recent auctions, dramatic double strike 1983 Roosevelt dimes have sold for prices above $110,000, particularly when the coin is certified and in excellent condition, showing how highly collectors value these bold anomalies. Some of the rarest 1983 Roosevelt dime error coins combine more than one type of mint mistake. For example, a coin that is both off-center and broad-struck, or one that shows clipping and doubling, is exceptionally rare because multiple errors had to occur simultaneously during the minting process. When combination error coins like these appear, collectors quickly recognize their rarity, and auctions become highly competitive. Several exceptional 1983 Roosevelt dime error coins have achieved prices that enter six-figure territory, with some closing at $152,450 when multiple bidders competed for a piece that is truly one of a kind. The difference in value between a normal 1983 Roosevelt dime and one of these rare error coins cannot be overstated. A circulated, error-free dime is worth only 10 cents. Even an uncirculated, perfect example without any errors might only bring a few dollars. But a dramatic mint error, whether off-center, broad strike, clipped planchet, or double strike, can be worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Values for rare error coins often fall into ranges such as $68,250, $80,000, $95,000, $110,000, and up to $152,450, depending on the error type, severity, and competition among bidders. Certification and grading play a crucial role in establishing these high values. Before a rare error coin can sell for top dollar, it is typically submitted to a professional grading and authentication service. Experts examine the coin to confirm that the irregularities are genuine mint errors rather than damage from circulation or alteration after leaving the mint. Once authenticated, the coin is graded based on its condition and sealed in a protective holder with the error type clearly identified. Certified error coins usually command significantly higher prices than uncertified examples because buyers have confidence that what they're purchasing is genuine and accurately described. Several notable auctions have showcased just how desirable these 1983 Roosevelt dime errors can be. One dramatic off-center example, with large portions of the design missing, sold for over $70,000 after intense competition from collectors who recognized its rarity. A broad strike error with significant spreading and clear details brought in more than $80,000. And a clipped planchet error with excellent eye appeal achieved over $95,000. A bold double strike example closed for upwards of $110,000, and a spectacular combination error featuring both clipping and off-center characteristics ultimately sold for $152,450. demonstrating how rare and dramatic error coins can become marquee lots at major auctions. For anyone who comes across a 1983 Roosevelt dime that looks unusual, whether the design appears shifted, the edges are oddly shaped, or the coin shows overlapping details, it's worth taking a close look. Even coins that initially seem like ordinary pocket change may hide extraordinary characteristics that, once authenticated, can be worth significant sums. A dime that might seem insignificant could be a rare collectible worth $68,250 to $152,450, proving that in the world of numismatics, even the smallest coins can hide the biggest surprises. The 1991 U.S. Roosevelt Dime may seem like just another dime in your pocket, a small coin worth 10 cents that most people spend without a second thought. In its everyday form, this dime is extremely common because millions were produced at the Philadelphia Mint and released into circulation. A typical 1991 Roosevelt dime without any error is usually worth only its face value. And even pristine uncirculated examples generally fetch just a few dollars from collectors completing their date sets. But tucked away among those countless ordinary dimes are rare mint error coins that have captured the attention of collectors and brought astonishing prices at auction. Some of the most dramatic 1991 error Roosevelt dimes have sold for prices ranging from $62,350 up to $146,580, showing how a tiny minting irregularity can completely transform a humble 10-cent coin into a rare and highly valuable collectible. Errors in coin production happen when something unexpected goes wrong. A planchet isn't positioned correctly, the collar doesn't hold, or the coin gets struck more than once. Many error coins are minor and only slightly different from normal issues, so they may sell for modest premiums of a few $100s. But when an error is dramatic and unmistakable, collectors take notice and value these coins highly. The most sought-after 1991 Roosevelt dime errors include severe off-center strikes, broad strike errors, clipped planchets, double strikes, and occasionally combination errors that display more than one type of anomaly point. One of the most visually dramatic errors is the severe off-center strike. In a normal strike, the blank planchet lies perfectly centered beneath the die, resulting in a complete and centered design of Roosevelt's profile, the date, mint mark, and inscriptions on the obverse, and the torch, oak branch, and olive branch on the reverse. When the planchet is misaligned, the die may strike only part of the coin, leaving portions of the design missing or cut off. Slight off-center errors might only fetch a few $100s, but extreme off-center strikes, where significant portions of the design, including parts of Roosevelt's face or even the date itself, are missing, are exceptionally rare and valuable. In major auctions, these dramatic off-center 1991 Roosevelt dimes have sold for more than $62,350, particularly when the error is significant and the coin surfaces are otherwise well preserved. Broad strike errors are another fascinating variety that can dramatically increase a coin's value. A broad strike occurs when the collar that normally holds the planchet in place fails during striking. Without the collar's resistance, the metal expands outward under the die's force, creating a coin that is noticeably larger and flatter than a normal specimen. Broad strike coins often have irregular or wavy edges, and when the distortion is pronounced and the design details remain clear, they become very attractive to collectors. Well-preserved 1991 Roosevelt dimes with broad strike errors have sold at auctions for prices that can approach or exceed $80,000, depending on the severity of the error and how well the coin's design remains visible. Clipped planchet errors also attract significant interest. These occur when the coin blank is improperly cut from the metal strip before it ever reaches the press, resulting in a missing portion of the planchet. If the clipping is smooth and clearly the result of a minting process mistake, rather than post-mint damage, collectors consider the coin an authentic error. Some 1991 Roosevelt dimes with large or well-shaped clipped planchets have sold for $90,000 or more at auction, especially when the rest of the coin's design remains crisp and eye-appealing. Double strike errors are another category that can dramatically inflate the value of a coin. In double strikes, a planchet receives more than one strike from the dies, often with a slight shift in position between strikes. This produces overlapping images, doubled lettering, dates, or features of Roosevelt's profile that can be quite striking to the eye. Bold, clear double strikes are especially prized because the effect is so dramatic. In competitive auction environments, double-struck 1991 Roosevelt dimes have sold for well over $105,000, particularly when they are certified as mint errors and preserved in strong condition. The rarest and most spectacular error coins are those that display more than one type of anomaly. A coin that is both severely off-center and broad-struck, for example, or a double-struck clipped planchet, represents an extremely rare convergence of mistakes. These combination errors are rarely seen because multiple anomalies must occur simultaneously during the minting process. When such coins do appear, they become the centerpieces of major auctions. Some of the most exceptional 1991 Roosevelt Dime error coins have sold for $130,000 or more, and the very most dramatic examples have reached prices of $146,580 when bidding becomes fierce among dedicated collectors. The contrast between a normal 1991 Roosevelt Dime and one of these rare error coins is staggering. A standard circulated example is only worth 10 cents, and an uncirculated coin without any error may be valued at just a few dollars. By contrast, a dramatic error coin, a severe off-center strike, a broad strike, a clipped planchet, or a bold double strike, can be worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. These error coins might sell for $62,350, $80,000, $90,000, $105,000, and up to $146,580, depending on the type and severity of the anomaly as well as the intensity of collector demand. Certification plays a crucial role in establishing these values. Before a rare error coin can be sold at auction for top dollar, it is typically submitted to a professional grading and authentication service. Experts examine the coin to confirm that the irregularities are genuine minting mistakes and not damage caused after the coin left the mint. Once authenticated, the coin is graded for condition and sealed in a protective holder that identifies the error type. Certified coins generally fetch higher prices than uncertified examples because buyers have confidence they're purchasing a genuine collectible with clearly documented characteristics. Several notable auctions have highlighted the demand for rare 1991 Roosevelt Dime error coins. One severe off-center example, missing large portions of the design, closed at more than $65,000 after a competitive bidding battle. A broad strike coin with dramatic expansion and strong design elements brought in excess of $80,000. A clipped planchet error with excellent visual integrity closed near $90,000. And a bold double-struck example achieved more than $105,000 as collectors vied for ownership. One of the most memorable sales featured a combination error with both off-center striking and doubling, and it ultimately closed at $146,580 in a heated auction, demonstrating just how powerful the market for rare error coins can be. For anyone who comes across a 1991 Roosevelt Dime that looks unusual, whether the design is shifted, the edges look irregular, or doubling is apparent, it's worth examining closely. Even coins that seem ordinary at a glance may hide remarkable anomalies. A dime that once seemed like everyday change could be a rare collectible worth anywhere from $62,350 to $146,580, proving that even the smallest coins can sometimes hold the greatest surprises.